Tropical Storm Alex has increased in strength. I'm Mike Naso from IPR365.com with your tropical video update for this morning, June 26, 2010. We do have the first named storm of the 2010 Atlantic hurricane season in the form of Tropical Storm Alex. And looking at Alex this morning, it's sitting north of the area here of Honduras and Nicaragua, moving towards Belize and the Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. And after that, it'll move back out over water and then turn back into northern Mexico as probably a hurricane, potentially an intense hurricane if it has enough time and if it gets this inner core straightened out. Right now, the reason why it's not a hurricane is because it does not have a well-defined inner core or an eye wall or anything like that. But what it does have is just a dynamic outflow. Every quadrant, perfect outflow, very, very favorable deep convection blowing over it. We're going to touch on it a lot on this video podcast. We also have 94L, still expected to turn up and away. It's weak, it's interacting with an upper low, 10% chance at development. We're not going to cover it anymore here on this video update because we're going to be dealing with Alex and talking about that over the next few minutes, as Alex really will continue to be a rainmaker as it moves in towards Central America and the Yucatan. Now, the latest on Tropical Storm Alex as of 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern, is at 17.3 north, 86.1 west. Winds were up to 45 miles per hour. Air Force hasn't been out there for a few hours. They're going out in a few hours, and we'll see just what they find. Right now, microwave imagery shows that it doesn't have an eye wall, so I don't think it's closing in on hurricane strength, but who knows? I've seen 100-mile-an-hour hurricanes without eyes before. Earl, 1998, perfect example. It's moving west-northwest at 1,003 millibars, and it's expected to make landfall either very, very late tonight or early tomorrow morning in Belize, but maybe near the border, maybe Chetumal Bay, this little area in here, and weaken. By this time tomorrow will be a depression. Then come out. Now here's the key. If it takes the southern end of this track, it's inland very quickly, probably by Tuesday night, and is probably so close to land it doesn't have that much time to strengthen. If it were to take the northern end of this track, it's over land longer, comes out Sunday evening, and has all the way until at least Thursday evening to strengthen before hitting, say, Texas. What it looks like is going to happen, though, is the middle of the track, which means it's going to spend Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night over the western Gulf of Mexico. And the Hurricane Center, and based on the models, say it should hold this upper level pattern, which means that aside from land interaction and getting an inner core and an eye wall, once it has an inner core, and if it's over water, Alex should be able to strengthen as much as his heart desires. So right now the forecast is calling for a Category 1, but don't be surprised if it's a little weaker, if it stays ragged and doesn't organize and doesn't become a hurricane. Don't be surprised if it's a good bit stronger either. Right now, anywhere from, say, I don't know, Port O'Connor, Texas, down to Veracruz needs to be on the alert, but especially northern Mexico, I'd say from the border all the way down to Tampico appears to be the area. We do have tropical storm warnings out, by the way, for Belize and the Yucatan, as those impacts should be coming very shortly. Now, what happened with the track forecast? Well, yesterday some models were taking it towards the North Gulf Coast, others were taking it back west. Well, let me show you what happened today. Look at all the models now. They are almost all unanimous now that there's going to be just a continued west-northwest motion, maybe a slowdown, maybe a bump north into Texas, or just a southern push straight southwest. Either way, you don't see many hooking it back towards the Panhandle or back towards Louisiana anymore. The reason for that is in the next 36 hours we're going to have a trough moving through. And what that's going to do is weaken steering currents. Now it looks as though Alex will get a tug from that trough, but what the models were showing the other day was it getting picked up by the trough and moving around. What it looks like is going to happen is Alex will feel the tug, the trough will leave, steering currents will be weak, and Alex may actually just kind of bend west or maybe even west-southwest. If it moves west-southwest, That would be a lot like Hurricane Anita in '77, which developed as a depression here and hit northern Mexico as a Category 5 because all it did was move west-southwest in their weak steering currents over the warm Gulf waters. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Alex, but if it does become a hurricane and it still has a few days to mill around, it would not be all out of the realm of possibility there. Now there's the latest water vapor as I mentioned, and I'm going to put something on here. I'm going to show you the wind shear profile just to give you an idea of the upper level environment that Alex is currently in to show you what exactly it's doing. There's the upper environment. You can see you got 40 knots of wind shear in this direction. That's the vent. That's the outflow up and around the tropical storm. Otherwise, over the top of it, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So right now the environment shear wise is about as good as it gets. It could be a little bit more underneath the anticyclone in one direction or another, but for June any tropical system would ask for an environment like this, and Alex has got it. I mean, that's without a doubt. Alex has that, and another look at that from afar, you could definitely see Alex is in a much better environment than, say, our Invest 94L out here, which has a 40 knot upper level low shearing it away, while Alex sits here happy and pretty in the Western Caribbean. There you can see the shear tendencies even better. Alex over the blue with the red around it with the outflow. Classic indication of a well-defined pattern for a hurricane to form. Now here's the latest sea surface temperatures. These are the basically where the hottest water is, and you can definitely see in the Western Caribbean where Alex is right now. That's the hottest. It gets a little cool here off the Yucatan, so it may not strengthen right away, but if it does move back over a warm pool like this, yeah, it could get going pretty quick. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on it because if it keeps up with all these outer bands, the rainfall will be horrendous. You can already see the radar out of Belize. There's Belize City, areas of, here's Punta Gorda, Monkey River Town. You took a bad hit from Hurricane Iris back in October of '01, and that had winds of 145 miles an hour. Alex is a far cry from that, but you can still see the rotation in here, definitely showing some signs of heavy rainfall from areas of Belize and even up on the Yucatan Peninsula, seeing some rain at this time. Excuse me. Alex is drying my throat out. Plus, it's been a long night tracking this, so I'm just getting so tired of looking at things spinning. It definitely gets on your nerves here. Now, here's the latest visible satellite imagery of Alex, and you can see there's the storm as the sun went down and came up. Look at this beautiful symmetry. It's got that classic hurricane shape, but no real indication that it's a hurricane yet or close to it. But as it moves out, it could definitely become a hurricane. So we're going to keep a close watch on Alex over the next few days, and you can stay right here to these podcasts, and we'll definitely keep it going for you. Darby, East Pac 110 weakening, not going to be an issue. It's going to kind of be squished by Alex, and it's going to just kind of fade away here off the Mexican coast and not be a situation we're going to have to deal with it. There's Darby. Yep, nothing left, a little hurricane, and I do mean little. There's the center of it, looking very weak and ragged. See Alex coming onto screen here, causing a lot of problems with the wind shear for Darby, right towards it like a bunch of needles sticking in the haystack. And I do mean needle and haystack. This is a small hurricane, big time. So Darby we're not going to have to deal with. Celia, 90 miles an hour, was a Category 5 36 hours ago. Now it's just going to be a remnant low as it moves into the eastern Pacific. And taking a look at the latest satellite imagery of Hurricane Celia, look at that tiny little shrunken thing, just like its little brother Darby. It's down to a very small size and only getting weaker with time. I'm a very tired out Mike Naso, giving you the latest on Tropical Storm Alex. And trust me, once we revamp here, we'll be back with frequent updates over the next several days as Alex continues its track towards the Gulf of Mexico. Expected to be a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. So definitely something all residents from Florida to Mexico want to keep an eye on, just in case Alex makes this move. I'm Mike Naso from IPR. I'll see you next time.